Good morning, Year 5. So today we're going to talk about the last part of our lesson, which is the galaxies, and then we're going to do some exercise, which are the worksheets in your resource pack. Before this, we are going to correct your homework. And by the way, I uploaded both pages 60 and 61 on your Google Classroom because all of you, the ones who took the resource pack, they found both pages blank. So this is an error in the printing of the resource pack, so that's why I uploaded both of the page. But actually the homework page is page only page 60 for year 5A and pages 57 and only 60 in year 5B. Now let's start by correcting your homework. So this is the first page of your homework. Year 5A, you took this on Monday. Year 5B, you took it on Wednesday. So let's do it together. You just have to unscramble or rearrange the words. The first one, all of the planets are arranged in their correct order. So let's start with the first one and the closest to the sun and the smallest among all of those, which is Mercury. And the next one is Venus. The next one is Earth, and then Mars. The biggest among all of them is Jupiter, and then the one with the rings is Saturn. Then Uranus, which is the one that is very cold, and the one that is really windy and has a brilliant blue color, which is Neptune. This is the second page in your homework. We're supposed to be writing the names of the planets next to them, and they are giving us some key or some boxes that have keywords considering each planet, so that it would help us figure out the name of the planet. So the first one is Mercury, is the closest to the sun and very hot. So this is the sun. This means that the very next orbit next to the sun will be Mercury, as you can see. Jupiter is the largest planet, so we're going to take a quick look among all of the planets, and it's very obvious that this one is the largest. So this is Jupiter. Mars is also known as the red planet, so we're searching for the red planet, and the fourth one away from the sun. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this will make this one Mars. Pluto is the smallest planet, and as you can see, they put planet between quotations because Pluto is not considered a planet anymore. So this one is Pluto, the one that is the furthest away from the sun, and it has this very weird orbit which is oval in shape. Earth and Venus are similar in size, so we're going to look at Earth and Venus. They are very much similar, and they are next to each other in the orbits. So this is Earth and this is Venus. Next is Uranus. Is very cold, also known as the ice planet, and Uranus is the one that is just before Neptune. So if this orbit belongs to Pluto, and the one that is just previous to it will be Neptune, and the one that is previous to it will be Uranus. So this is Uranus, and Saturn is best known for its rings. So this is the only one with rings. So this is Saturn, and then there is Neptune, which is the last planet among the main 8 planets. They made an extra box here which is pointing to this part, which is between Mars and Jupiter, which is called the asteroid belt, of course. So we're going to talk now about the last part of our lesson, which is talking about galaxies. We actually took some sort of a stair in order to get bigger and bigger with the sizes of the objects that we were talking about. We talked about stars, and we talked about planets, and we talked about the solar system, and we talked about the moons, and then there is the thing that collects all of those things among other stars. So galaxies is mainly a bunch or a group of other solar systems. So stars, when they are grouping together, they make this huge group which is called the galaxy, and the galaxy can contain many millions of stars, and as you know, our galaxy is known as the Milky Way. So our galaxy, as you can see, is spiral in shape. There are other galaxies in space which has different shapes. Some of them are oval, some of them are circular, some of them even are irregular, which means that they do not have a specific shape. I'm going to leave you the link of a YouTube video that is talking about galaxies. It's a beautiful video, you have to watch it. I'm going to leave the link in your Google Classroom stream. I hope you enjoy it and like it. Now we're going to do some exercise. This is page 62 in your resource pack. So I would like you to grab your resource pack and start answering those classwork with me. So pause the video and go get your resource pack. Okay, so now we're going to do it together. You have a picture here. This is the sun, and this is the direction of the sunlight. This is the earth, and you know that the axis of the earth is not straight, a straight line from top to bottom. It's actually a little bit tilted, and this what causes summer and winter, and we will know now how. Answer questions 1, 2, 3, and 4 using the diagram of the earth shown above. Number 1 says, which season of the year would it be at the North Pole? So here's the North Pole, and you can see very well that it's far away from the sun. So the North Pole is far away from the sun, so you just can guess what season will the North Pole be in. When we're away from the sun, it's cold, so this means that the North Pole is in winter. Number 2 says, which season of the year would it be in the South Pole? So here's the South Pole, and I think it's very obvious that it's closer to the sun. So this means that the South Pole will be warmer than the North Pole, and this will make the South Pole is in the summer. So which area would get the most hours of sunlight? I think it's very obvious again that the most hours of sunlight will be in the summer, and in this diagram the part of the earth that is in the summer, I think we just said it, will be the South Pole. Number 4 says, which would have the longest nights, which area, would have the longest nights and shortest days. So it's mainly the longest nights are in winter, and the part that is in winter in this diagram is of course the North Pole. Now the next we flipped the direction of the sun, so the sun is in the other way. Now the North Pole is closer to the sun and the South Pole is further from the sun. Answer questions 4, 5, and 6 using the diagram of the earth shown above. Number 5, 6, there is actually 7 and 8 too. So, and 4 is right here. So there is a mistake in the question. You have to answer 5, 6, 7, and 8 from this diagram. Number 5 says, which season of the year would it be at the North Pole? So here's the North Pole, and it's the closer to the sun, and this will make the North Pole in the summer. Number 6 says, which season of the year would it be at the South Pole? So in this case, South Pole is away from the sun. This will make the South Pole colder, and it means that it's winter in the South Pole. Number 7 says, which area would get the most hours of sunlight? Again, most hours of sunlight means it's the summer, So this means that the North Pole will get the most hours of sunlight. Number 8 says, which area would have the shortest day and the longest night? So again, this is the case in the winter, and it's very obvious that the South Pole is away from the sun, and this will make winter in the South Pole. Now this diagram shows Earth orbiting the sun, and I want you to pay attention to the direction of the orbiting. So it's very obvious that it's this way from the arrowhead. So this means that it's revolving this way. At position A, which hemisphere would have summer? So we're going to look at the position of the sun and the position of the Earth, and the one in the above is the North Pole, the one in the top is the North Pole, the one in the bottom is the South Pole, and in this position, North Pole is closer to the sun than the South Pole. So this means that it's summer in the North Pole or the northern hemisphere. Number 2 says, at position A, which hemisphere would have winter? I think it's very obvious from the previous question. If the northern hemisphere is have summer, then the southern hemisphere would have winter. Number 3 says, at position C, which hemisphere would have summer? In this case, it's flipped. The South Pole will be closer to the sun, and the northern pole will be away or further from the sun. So this means that the southern hemisphere is in summer. And again, at position C, which hemisphere would have winter? I think it's very obvious, it's the northern hemisphere. Number 5 says, at position B, the northern hemisphere it would be, and this is why I told you to pay attention to the direction of the arrow or the direction of the orbit. So it was right here, and in the northern hemisphere it was summer in this position. So when it turns to, or when it starts to move to position B, so this is supposed to be the very next season after summer in the northern pole, and we all know that after summer comes fall or autumn. So this means that it's fall in the northern hemisphere. At position D, in the northern hemisphere it would be, so again in the northern hemisphere it is winter in position C. So this means that when it moves to position D, it will be spring. So here's page 65 in your resource pack, and you will notice that it's question 2. This is because page 64 which has question 1 will be your homework, and I'm going to announce about it at the end of the session. So here in question 2, it says choose the correct answer. What shape are the Earth, Sun, and Moon? All of them are roughly spherical. Which is the largest, the Earth, Sun, or Moon? I think it's a very obvious answer, and it's the Sun, of course. Number 3 says, how long does it take the Earth to travel once around the Sun? And we all know that it takes it 365 days, or here they made you a little trick, which they translated 365 days into 12 months. So this will make 12 months the right answer. Number 4 says, how long does it take the Moon to travel once around the Earth? So the Moon, we said that it travels, it takes 28 days to travel around the Earth. Number 5 says, how long does it take the Earth to turn once around its axis? We all know that this means a 1-day trip, which means 24 hours. The next one, which part of the Earth is in daylight? The part that facing the sun, the part facing away from the sun, the part facing the moon. I think it's very obvious that it's A, the part facing the sun. Question 3 in page 66, it says, what is the real shape of the Earth? Take one box. I think we answered this before, and it's very, we all know that it's a sphere. B says there are many changes on Earth caused by movements in the solar system. Draw a line from each change to its cause. Note, you may need to use some causes more than once. So here they are trying to confuse us with the number of causes and the quality of causes. We're going to read it now. So it says a year is 365 days, and why is this? And you're going to look at all of the causes. It says the Earth orbits the sun, the Earth spins on its axis, the moon hides the sun orbits the Earth. So I think the last two is a little bit weird, and we're not going to use them because they don't make sense, except for this one in specific cases. So those two we're not going to use them. Those two will be the main causes that we're going to use. So a year is 365 days. We know that it's because the Earth orbits the sun. Next is it's dark at night. A lot of you will get confused with the moon hides the sun, but this is not the cause why it gets dark at night. It's because the Earth is revolving around itself, and this part of the Earth is facing away from the sun, and this what causes it to become dark at night. So the Earth spins on its axis is the right answer. The next is the sun rises and sets. Again, it's because the Earth spins on its axis. Next is the moon does not make its own light. Why does the moon often look shiny? We know that the moon is actually not a shiny object, it's dull object, and it's only shiny because if you said because it reflects sunlight, good for you. You are studying your lessons. Now the last page that we're going to do together is page 67, and it has question number 4. It says draw one line from each time period to the statement / cause. So we have 2 time period, which is the year and day, and we have many statements or causes here. They want us to use only one, not like the previous question where we are going to use several causes. We're only going to use only one cause. So here we're going to read the causes first. Earth rotates once on its axis. Earth orbits the sun once. Moon orbits the Earth. Earth rotates 24 times. So a year is caused because the Earth orbits the sun once, and the day is caused because Earth rotates once on its axis. The last question says if the Earth were to spin faster on its axis, which of the following statements would be true? Tick one box. The first one says days and nights would get shorter. The second one says the Earth would have no gravity. The third says days and nights would get longer. So I think it's very obvious that Earth spins around itself. It causes the day, and it spins around itself after every 24 hours. If it's spinning faster, so this means that it's going to make a complete round around itself in less than 24 hours. So this will make days and nights shorter. So this is the answer. Days and nights would get shorter. So this is your homework, guys, page 64, and you're supposed to be shading the part of Earth which is in darkness, night. The relative sizes of the Earth and Sun are not to scale. So here is the Sun, and here is the Earth, and the Earth and all the pictures are in different positions. They want you to shade or color the side that is supposed to be at night, or the one that is not facing the sun. I think it's very easy, and I'm going to show you the first one. So the first one is this one, and I will help you with it so that you would understand. They want us to shade the they want us to shade the part that is away from the sun, or the one that is that has night or is in darkness. So in this case, this hemisphere or this part is the one that is facing the sun, so this will make the other hemisphere the one that is in darkness. So we're going to shade this part, as you can see. So this is what you're supposed to do with the rest, and I hope it's a very easy question. I'm going to ask it from you tomorrow, so this will make it due tomorrow. Monday we're going to solve it together in our live sessions. Until then, I hope you're all doing great, guys. I miss you so much. I'm so excited and looking forward to meet you online on Monday. See you next time, and bye bye.